Hey guys, what is up? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. So what exercise should every UI UX designer be doing every single day? If you are a designer and you work in the field of UX design, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, whether you're just now getting started, you could have got started last week, whether you've been doing it for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years. Doesn't matter what level you're at. You could be making good money right now and work for a great company. If you're watching one of my videos, more than likely you like new ideas, you like to grow your knowledge and advance your career in some form or fashion, and this exercise can do just that. Okay, every single day, take 15, 20, 30 minutes. You can take 5, 10 minutes, whatever. And what you want to do is you want to brainstorm of problems that you faced the day before and the problems you're facing that particular day, and how you might be able to solve for that problem in the form of a digital application. Okay, maybe you're doing this already, maybe you're not, but here's the thing. Do this exercise every single day. Think of the problems that you faced yesterday or the prior week or today, and how you might be able to solve those problems in the form of a digital app. All right, now it takes brainstorming, take it on a piece of paper and just really think through things that you've gone through and how you might be able to solve those things in a form of an application. Now, how is this going to benefit you? It's going to benefit you in 3 ways. Number 1, it's going to force you to truly think like a UX designer. Okay, truly think like a UX designer. Go beyond just visual UI design. Number 2, it's going to allow you to have an idea for a personal project for your portfolio that will help you, that you can leverage to help you grow your portfolio, to help you get recruited, land jobs, or gain clients, whether you're doing client work and freelance work, right? And number 3, it will almost force you to step out of your comfort zone and to think like an entrepreneur. All right, so I'm going to explain these 3 things. The first one is UX designer, or the thinking of a UX designer. When you think about problems that exist and how you might be able to solve them, this is what I consider to be, this is what makes you a UX designer. A lot of times people are confused, and what does a UX designer do? Really, it's the form of thinking. It's critically thinking through problems and how to solve those things. Whereas a designer tend to really think about what type of color choices I need to use, what type of fonts, what type of look and feel, sort of like they think of when you put on your visual designer hat, you're kind of thinking about the engagement, right? Like, how is this thing going to be beautiful? I want to make this thing beautiful. So a lot of graphic designers think in that form, but a UX designer have to kind of go beyond that and think about truly how am I going to solve this problem in the form of an app? And when you think about that, what it does, it actually makes it easier for you to go beyond what I consider just that first page. So as a designer, when you're designing something, a lot of designers you see on Dribbble, they have that first screenshot. They might have a dashboard, and they might have a secondary page. But if you really want to grow your portfolio and have your portfolio stand out from recruiters and hiring managers, it's always beneficial to go beyond just 2 pages. Because when you go beyond 2 pages, you have your 8 pages deep, maybe 8 to 10, 15 pages deep. It really shows that you've actually thought through the problem, and now you're actually trying to show the solution for that problem in the form of these different steps, right? So to me, that's far more beneficial. And by you having to really think about this problem that you're trying to solve, it will easily, I think, force you to go beyond just 1 page, right? So it's going to force you, this exercise is going to force you to become a better UX designer. Number 2, it's going to, obviously, when you brainstorm, you might not come up with an idea the first day. It could be 2 weeks of you kind of doing this exercise, and a little seed was planted like 3 days ago of this problem, and you kind of like brainstorming, things like that. Now, at some point, that little seed that was planted is actually going to grow, and you're going to have a good idea for a personal project. So now you have a personal project, and now you can start that project and spend the next 3 to 4 weeks designing that project for your portfolio, for the benefit of you and your portfolio. I like to tell this story. I did this a while back, and one of the projects I did, a personal project I did, actually was the thing that landed me a job working for CBS. And the director that I worked for, she told me exactly, out of all your work, she goes, this particular project, I liked your detail of design. And it was an app I did, it was a sports app I did, and it helped me land that job. She was impressed with that particular work. So yes, personal projects will benefit you in that form or fashion and can land you a job, all right? In addition to that, not just landing you a job, if you're a freelancer and you've built this cool, you solved this cool problem in this form of an application, it's going to obviously benefit you in other ways, not just landing a job, but a business owner could see that. They might be building their own app and love the way that you love something you did here and go, you know what, I want to pay you to be the designer for my particular application. I'm investing, you know, $50,000. I'm building this thing on the side. You know, I'm willing to work with you on, you know, when you have time on the weekends and whatnot. And would you be willing to help me out with my project? I love what you're doing on yours. You know, I like your skills and things like that. I like how you think through problems, and I need that skill set for my stuff. So it's not just work, it's also freelance work, right? It can benefit you in those ways. And then thirdly, when you think about this problem that you know, this problem you have and how you might solve it, it actually forces you a little bit to maybe become an entrepreneur. Like how, like the possibilities of that. Maybe, you know, a lot of us, we don't think like, hey, I don't want to get into building apps, and I don't want to become Mark Zuckerberg. I don't want to become this, I don't want to become that. But guess what? It's exciting. What if you came up with a great idea? You pass it to your friends and family members, and you start getting traction on this thing, and people are like on and on and going, like, dude, like, hey, you should actually build this. You should actually make this into a real project. Maybe it might just become one thing. Just the other day, I used Webflow, and I know some of the folks at Webflow, and they just got like a big series of funding, $72 million, and you know, and the guy who started Webflow started this by just a problem that he faced every single day, and started dabbling and experimenting, and it's been years. He didn't do it overnight, but it's just this whole thing, right? I even saw an article the other day. This guy, the CEO of Squarespace. It was a random article. It said the CEO of Squarespace buys a mansion in the Hamptons for $42 million. I was like, who is this guy? Who owns Squarespace, right? We all know what Squarespace is. So I looked it up, and it had his story all throughout, like how he got started. And he started Squarespace just from same idea. He was doing something for himself, and it eventually led on. Somebody wanted to use it, and he started it, and he built it. Same with like the folks at Basecamp, right? I followed them for probably the last 15 plus years. They were a web design company, and you know, they built a project management app, project management tool internally. It led to other clients wanting to use it. Now they actually took upon themselves to build or to grow that SaaS company, right? Software as a service. And you know, that's how great ideas come about when you kind of think of it. Sorry, but when you think of these ideas and you don't think about the money first, those are the best type of projects, because it's your baby, right? You breathe it, you live it. You've actually like had this problem, you solved it. Now it's just organically, and it grows, and you can make money from it. But here's also another thing that I would say to do. When you think about solving this problem, one thing that I would add in there is push yourself to think about how you would monetize it. What's the business model of this application? And this could benefit you in all these ways. So here's the thing. When you build an application and you've actually thought through the business side of it, how to monetize it, not only will it benefit you from an entrepreneurial standpoint, but even if you just use it for your personal project and you went to an interview and you talked to somebody, how impressive is that? Not that you just were the designer or UX designer, but you've actually thought about how this thing made money, right? I love, those are huge assets. Somebody that actually can think through all types of different ways, design, UX design, and also you're thinking about it from a business standpoint, right? Because none of this stuff can exist if it doesn't make money, right? And that's just the reality of the nature of business in general. But so when you challenge yourself to think beyond just the app, how does it make money? How can I monetize this? you build a great solution, visually looks amazing. Come on, it's gonna benefit you in so many different ways. So I love sharing these type of ideas because everyone has their own ideas, everyone has different ideas, and they have different ways of how they might solve for this visually. And it's just an exciting thing to do because I can see how it could benefit anyone out there in so many of these different ways. A little example of this was outside of teaching UX design, I'm passionate about sports. All right, I have a sports blog called Laker Talk, and I've been thinking about, I have a huge growing audience there, and I've been thinking about building an app myself for these purposes. But it solves a need for me. Like, I like to search athletes, I like to search their Instagram, I like to search their Twitter, but I also like to search their stats and compare athletes and things like that. And I was like, I need to design and concept up an application that solves my problem that I use on a daily basis. And how cool would that be if I actually design something I could share with my audience in that particular niche and go, hey guys, would you use this? And kind of do some UX design work and do some field studying and kind of picking their brain and what apps they use, you know what I mean? So the point here is this: that particular idea can benefit me in so many different ways, just how I just explained in these several different steps. So hopefully you get a nugget from this. Hopefully this inspires you, gets you excited about doing this exercise every single day. It can only benefit you greatly. Anyway, if you have no idea how to design apps and you want to get started, go to my website, MLUX Academy. I teach you basically everything I know, and you can ask me any questions there. Use the contact link on that site. Ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer those for you. Hopefully this video touched you, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.